The year is 1908. Racial tensions simmer beneath the surface of American society. Jim Crow laws enforce segregation, and the concept of a black man achieving greatness seems like a distant fantasy. They arrested him for marrying a white woman, chased him across continents, and even tried to frame him for crimes he didn't commit. This is the story of Jack Johnson, boxing's first black heavyweight champion, who took on the world and, against all odds, won. Early life of Jack Johnson. Born in 1878, Jack Johnson's early life was a harsh reality check. Galveston, Texas, his birthplace, was a melting pot of cultures, but racial tensions were ever present. The son of former slaves, Johnson understood hardship firsthand. He found solace in the world of boxing, honing his skills in street fights and informal matches. His natural power and unorthodox style were evident from the start. However, the color of his skin presented a significant barrier. Breaking barriers in a segregated world, boxing in the early 20th century mirrored the social inequalities of the time. World championship titles were reserved for white fighters. Undeterred, Johnson dominated the colored heavyweight champion of the world circuit. Each victory wasn't just a win in the ring, it was a symbolic defiance against a system built on oppression. His prowess earned him national recognition, and the public clamored for Johnson to challenge a white heavyweight champion, the fight of the century, Johnson versus Burns. In 1908, the pressure reached a boiling point. Tommy Burns, the reigning white heavyweight champion, reluctantly agreed to fight Johnson in Sydney, Australia. The fight of the century generated a global spectacle. Johnson, with his flamboyant personality and unorthodox style, dominated the fight. His footwork was dazzling, his defense impenetrable, and his punches devastating. The final bell tolled, and Johnson emerged as the first African-American heavyweight champion of the world. It was a seismic shift, a victory that reverberated across racial and national boundaries, the rise of the Great White Hope. Johnson's victory was a double-edged sword. For African Americans, it was a moment of immense pride and a symbol of hope. However, white America was deeply unsettled. The search for a great white hope, a white champion who could reclaim the title, became a national obsession. Former champions like Jim Jeffries came out of retirement, and a string of challengers were thrown at Johnson, all defeated. His dominance fueled resentment and fear, highlighting the deep racial divisions of the era. Life beyond the ring. Johnson's defiance extended beyond the ring. His flamboyant lifestyle, characterized by expensive cars, tailored suits, and relationships with white women, challenged societal norms and fueled public outrage. This deliberate flouting of racial expectations made him a target for relentless criticism and fueled accusations of immorality. Mon, act scandal. Johnson's enemies sought to take him down by any means necessary. In 1912, he was framed under the Mon Act, a law designed to curb prostitution, but conveniently used in racially motivated prosecutions. Despite dubious evidence, Johnson was convicted and fled the country, living as an exile in Europe and Mexico for several years. This injustice not only tarnished his reputation, but also highlighted the lengths to which his detractors were willing to go. The fight against time and Willard. While in exile, Johnson continued to box, but the years were taking their toll. Upon his return to the U.S. to serve his sentence, he faced a new challenger, Jess Willard, in Havana, Cuba, in 1915. The sweltering Cuban heat, combined with Johnson's aging body, created insurmountable odds. After a grueling fight, some say with controversy, surrounding the outcome, Johnson lost his heavyweight title. While his championship reign was over, his indomitable spirit remained. The twilight years, fighting on, fighting back. Even after losing the heavyweight title, Johnson continued to fight for years, proving his unwavering determination, but his impact extended beyond the ring. He dabbled in acting, opened nightclubs, and wrote his autobiography, detailing his extraordinary life story. Despite a hint of bitterness and resignation in his later years, Johnson continued to defy societal expectations. Although his championship glory had faded, his spirit of resistance remained unyielding. The long road to redemption. Even after his death in 1946, the systemic prejudice Johnson had faced persisted. It took decades for his groundbreaking achievements to be fully recognized. His induction into the Boxing Hall of Fame was a testament to his sporting prowess, but the injustice of his Mann Act conviction remained a stain on his legacy. The fight for his redemption continued, highlighting the profound injustice he endured and serving as a rallying point for racial equality. A pardon too late. In 2018, after relentless campaigns from historians, activists, and even Hollywood heavyweights like Sylvester Stallone, Jack Johnson was finally granted a posthumous presidential pardon. This pardon, while far too late, represented a formal acknowledgement of the deep-seated racial motivations behind his prosecution. It was a victory for historical justice and a reminder of the ongoing battle for racial equality. Johnson's enduring influence. The story of Jack Johnson is multifaceted and full of contradictions. He was a champion, an icon, a flawed man, and a product of his tumultuous times. His story is a testament to the inextricable link between sports and society. Boxing legends like Muhammad Ali cited Johnson as an inspiration, but his enduring legacy lies in his symbolism of resilience. Johnson stood as a defiant figure, refusing to be defined by societal limitations, making him an inspiration for athletes and activists alike.